Hello folks, this is Sula once again. You're listening to another video for League of Legends, this one featuring Skarner. This is a spectated high elo game that I had the ability to take a look at. This was a game that was being streamed online, and I was able to use a third-party program called Spectate Anyone, and I'll put a link in the description if people want to check this out. But basically it's a third-party program that lets you spectate any game that's being played, regardless of whether people are on your friends list or not. This game features quite a few high elo players in this match, fairly well-known players. For instance, we have Nintendos X, pretty sure this is Nintendude X, who's a pretty well-known player. Psyx, pretty well-known as well. Probably the most famous players in this game are Shan Huang and Radish. This is actually Chaox and X Special of Solo Mid. They were both streaming this game publicly, and I decided that when I saw them, I was like, oh, I'll go ahead and spectate this match so we can watch Chaox and X Special. But the person we're actually going to watch in this game is the Skarner player, Pharaoh, because Skarner has been making a comeback as a jungler, and this game is a nice example of how to play Skarner in sort of the new way that people are building him right now. Anyway, we do have a little level 1 action here before I get into talking more about Skarner himself. Note that the Alistar player, Red the Panda, is sort of hanging out here by himself. There is a lot of talk going back and forth between the teams. And now here Psyx comes forward. There's a flash from Nunu. Another flash. The exhaust comes out. But watch right here. We're going to get a really sweet condemn from Claky D, the Vayne player. And that's going to turn into first blood for Zyra for Q1. What is the name there? Q1 IMAX, the Zyra player in this game. So little level 1 action there. Psyx came a little bit too far forward, gets bursted down. A sweet condemn from the Vayne player. Anyway, as I said, this game is being played at right around 2200 elo. So this is a high elo game. Solo queue though, not a formal team game. And Red Team has a little bit of an edge. But as I said before, we're going to keep an eye on Skarner just because Pharaoh playing Skarner has a very nice Skarner game here. I don't think I'm giving anything away by mentioning that. We're going to follow him through. And Skarner's been getting played quite a bit more of late. He is, by all accounts, very popular on the Korean servers, and that's kind of trickled down now to North America and Europe as well. I saw him getting played a little bit in the recent North American tournaments as well. He kind of fell out of favor for a while, but looks like he's back again. So this is a very standard start for Skarner, starting at Wolves and then going immediately to blue. One of the weaknesses of Skarner as a jungler is he tends to be very blue dependent, but if he can get, if he can get that early blue, he's fine, but he can't really start red all that well. And it looks like Pharaoh's opted to save his smite here. Note that he got a lot of help at blue and at Wolves, and he's going to use his save his smite. I'm presuming he's going to go and use that at red, and he'll be able to get level 3 off of that red. There is a gank up here in top lane. Jungle Alistar gank coming in. Shen is going to flash. He's going to be able to escape it. Yes, he's going to be able to make his way out. So just going to keep an eye on that. Alright, so talking a little bit about Skarner. So what is it that he does that makes him appealing? Oh, is he going to do this camp? I assumed he was. Looks like he is going to try to take this. Alright, so Skarner, he's known for a couple different things. He clears the jungle pretty well. He's a fairly decent pick as far as clearing, getting a fast clear. Although he is fairly blue dependent. Notice even with his blue that he's almost out of mana here right now. There is a fight going on over here, and Zyra is not going to be able to pick that one up. Jungle Alistar gank, not going to be enough. Alright, so I will go through what Skarner's skills do for those who haven't seen him. His Crystal Slash right here deals physical damage to all nearby enemies. This is a very spammable skill. It's only on like a 3-second cooldown. And Pharaoh needs to get out of here right now before he gets comboed by these two guys, by Alistar and Twisted Fate. Anyway, so deals physical damage to all nearby enemies, charges himself with Crystal Energy for 5 seconds or until units is struck. While he's charged, deals extra bonus magic damage and slows by 25%. So basically, you can perma-slow people if you get this on a short enough cooldown. You just keep spamming your Q. It's how you clear camps quickly and allows you to slow people. So this is his bread and butter skill. This is the one that you're going to prioritize. Right there, up there is the flash in. There is the slow with red buff and the slow with that Crystal Slash. But it's not going to be enough, and so that gank did not succeed. Good idea, but it didn't succeed. Anyway, you can stick to people and just slow them permanently by running your Q on them over and over and again. One of the trademarks, one of the other things about Skarner is he tends to be fairly weak at ganking people until he hits level 6 and gets his ultimate. You can pull things off, especially if you have red buff, but without red, you tend to be not that effective. Now, one of the other things that works really well with his kit is his W. This gives you a shield. Skarner's shielded for damage for 6 seconds, and while the shield is on, you get extra attack speed and extra movement speed. And it's not just the extra attack speed that's nice. The extra movement speed is a really big deal as well. And this is what people on the Korean servers have been taking advantage of. So note the skilling order here. Just Q and W, not even bothering to put a point in E at level 4. That's one of the things that people have been doing, just ignoring E totally. The E skill is his only range skill. Deals magic damage in a line, marks them for 6 seconds. You can strike enemies to consume the mark to heal Skarner. So this is a relatively weak skill. It does give him a little bit more sustain, but you actually tend to do better in the jungle, what people figured out, by just putting more points in his E, because you get the shield and you get extra attack speed, so you clear faster, and most importantly, you get the extra movement speed, so you're able to chase people down. Skarner is a little bit like Udyr in that he doesn't really have much range at all. His Fracture is his only range skill, and the range is not very good, so he pretty much needs to catch up to people. Fortunately, he has a movement speed boost, again, kind of similar to Udyr, so he's able to catch people and catch them, and then use his ultimate to grab them. Anyway, we'll highlight this here. Most people probably familiar with what his ultimate does. Well, let's watch this fight here, first of all. We have a Flash Pulve coming in from Alistar. Zyra is going to use her Cleanse, and it looks like that's going to get her out of this particular fight, and Pharah's going to go back to base. Anyway, so I will highlight the ultimate. Most people know this. This is where Skarner's being a Scorpion comes in, suppresses an enemy champ for almost 2 seconds, just shy of 2 seconds, deals magic damage, can drag his helpless victim around with him. When the effect ends, target takes additional magic damage. So this isn't really about the damage dealt. It's much more about grabbing someone, picking them up, and then carrying them back with you. So the basic idea for Skarner is pop your E, rush out, try to hit them with your slow on your Q, and then drag them back when you have your ult up. So it allows you to win a lot of team fights. If you can just take someone out of a team fight, then that can do really good things. Anyway, Zyra is getting ganked here, but it's a sweet Zyra ult. Is it going to be enough to finish off this Alistar? Pharah is coming in here. There is the flash for the snowball on the slow from Nunu. Is this going to be enough? Just needs one more hit. The exhaust comes out from Nunu as well. These two are very low. Nunu is tanking the tower. There's one kill. Is Pharah going to be able to finish this off? No, not going to be able to get the last one. And then it's going to use his W to hurry on out of there. Still very nicely played, especially by Prob, this support Nunu, who used the flash snowball right there. Pretty sweet. Anyway, going to go ahead and ward that blue buff. So anyway, what we saw there was a nice little play in mid, able to go 1 for 1 in mid, and able to pick up a kill on the jungle Alistar, Red the Panda. Anyway, had to go back to base because it took all that damage. So a little bit about itemizing on Skarner as well. Skarner is basically a support jungler. That is, you don't build Wriggle's Lantern on him, you go the alternate path, which is based upon gold per 10. So start boots 3 pots. First item, either Philosopher's Stone or Heart of Gold. Looks like Pharah's chosen to go for the Heart of Gold. You can also go for Philosopher's Stone, but those are your first 2 items. Then, usually, what has been emphasized on the Korean servers is go for Mobility Boots next. Go not Boots of Speed into Mobility Boots, the ones that are the Boots 5, the ones that give you all the extra movement speed. Just because it synergizes pretty well with his kit, it allows him to chase people down even better, makes his ganks really terrifying. And then later on, turn your Philosopher's Stone into a Shurelya's Reverie. So again, that movement speed boost. Anyway, here comes Shen to save the day once again. There is a nice taunt. Syke's going to get caught by that. It's not going to be enough to save Zyra. It's going to be a 1 for 1 trade. And Pharaoh's going to pick up the kill right there. And actually going to get a free blue in the exchange as well. Able to get that blue off of Syke's Twisted Fate. Anyway, Shen going to get harassed on his way back to lane by Fiora, but able to make it back out. So already has 2 kills and is starting to snowball ahead. And again, note the skilling order. Max Q first, Max W second, and Pharaoh's opted not even to put 1 point in his E skill because he wants the points in his W. And again, I have seen other people do that as well. So anyway, here's the fight underneath the tower. Nintendude is going to get that kill. Now, is Pharah going to be able to chase this down? He needs to pop that E, his W for that movement speed boost. Let's see, there it is. There's the movement speed boost. There's the flash and the impale. and that's going to be enough to pick off that kill. So again, you really need to run Flash and Smite on Skarner because it allows you to make plays like that, Flash and then Impale. Meanwhile, there is a fight going on down in bottom lane, and it looks like Kaox and Xpecial are able to pick off that particular kill in bottom lane. They were well ahead in this bottom lane when I was watching. They were dominating bottom lane. See, 101 on Ashe, 78 minion kills. Vayne 011, 33. They were really stomping this bottom lane. So they were in great shape early in the game and were winning their lane. Anyway, but Pharah does now have 3 kills. That obviously this is atypical. You're not going to get that many kills on Skarner, but has been having a really solid game thus far. He was able to pick up blue before, and that's a big deal. Again, one of the weaknesses of Skarner is he's pretty blue dependent. So if you're donating blue buff to your mid over and over again, which you should do, it does mean that he jungles a little bit more slowly. It looks like they are going to go and give that blue to Zyra right now in order to help her out in mid. Zyra is having a bit of a rough go. In mid, has already died 3 times. That's not so great. But with a blue buff, she will be in better shape. Anyway, let's see who is leading in terms of the gold right now. Pharah's Skarner does have the most gold on his team. Kaox is the most gold on the other team. Not too surprising right there. And it's somewhat surprising to be in a situation where the jungler has the most gold. Again, that's pretty atypical. You won't see that very often. But 3-0 does make up for quite a bit. And right now Zyra is walking over a ward, but doesn't realize that. Let's see what he's going to pick up on this trip back to base. Going to get a Philosopher's Stone for sure, and I'm not sure what else. Presumably Philosopher's Stone and Mobility Boots would be my guess. So there's the Mobility Boots. Again, movement, what is it? You get movement 5 when out of combat for a couple seconds. And the Oracle, this is a very nice buy. So Philosopher's Stone and Heart of Gold, Mobility Boots, and the Oracle to be able to sweep and clear wards. So let's watch the movement speed. Right now, I'm sure that Pharah's using movement speed quints. In terms of setting up like the masteries and the runes, I would assume that the mastery build would be 021-9 would be my guess. Now, I don't know because I don't know what he's running, but I would think that you'd run something like that, making sure to take the movement speed bonus in defensive and utility tree. I would think that you'd want all, you want all those movement speed boosts, is more or less the idea. You want that extra movement speed. See, right now with those mobility boots, he goes to 514 movement speed when he pops his W. That is very, very fast indeed. And that's sort of the idea, is it allows you to chase people down and catch up to them. So that's why you put all these points in your W skill. Anyway, here comes the gank. We do have a big time fight going in here with the Zyra ult catching Twisted Fate in the middle of that particular fight. Not sure they really want to chase up on that. So that was a 4 against 3 in that particular fight right there. Able to burst down the Twisted Fate. And right here, both Shen and Fiora very, very low. Now the fight is continuing. Alistar going to flash pulverize in, getting Zyra very, very low. But here comes the Shen ult. This is why you must ban Shen, because Shen turns around the fight yet again. Now it is a 5-on-3. Claky D is going to pick off 1 kill. Now Radish, that is Xpecial, being slowed right here. And it's a Vayne with red buff, which is very, very scary. So is he going to be able to finish this off? No, looks like decides to back off right there. And Nunu's actually going to flash over the wall right there. Zyra is still really, really low. Will go down on 1 hit. And Nunu is also quite low. But this dragon going to go down any second now. Just needs to get that smite. Actually, Pharah didn't even have... No, he did get it with smite. Never mind. So everybody on red team is incredibly low. But blue team's not going to be able to pick off any of those kills, unfortunately for blue team. So once again, Shen comes in and saves the day and just not able to pick off anyone. It's a shame Twisted Fate ult was not up, was used in that previous fight. So notice all the health bars were flashing red. Everyone was low, but couldn't manage to get any kills there. And that was a pretty big tipping point in this game, since blue team just wasn't able to get any of those kills and also ended up giving up Dragon. So anyway, back to Skarner once again. Skarner now has the Kindle Gem. This is again a rush on Shurelya's Reverie. Shurelya's makes your ganks even more powerful. Again, you've got the mobility boots for that passive movement speed boost. You've got your W, which again gives you extra movement speed. You rush Shurelya's, and then you pop the active feature, and that gives you even more of a movement speed boost. So again, note that the movement speed's only 417 when the mobility boots are not active. But again, as soon as you're out of combat, it will go right back up again, and it should go any second now. Just keep an eye on this. There it is, now up to 469. So again, that's the idea. Just you want to be able to chase people down really quickly. And that's also why you put all these points in the W, in the Crystalline Exoskeleton. 19% increased movement speed. No joke. Anyway, it looks like that Hawkshot revealed that Pharaoh was setting up for a gank. But we'll see. Zyra is coming down, so this may be another 4-man dive on bottom lane. We'll see. And again, note the Oracle sweeping and clearing out all the ward coverage. That's always so frustrating when the enemy jungler gets an early Oracle and just starts taking out all your wards. Anyway, so note Chaotic Special, realize they have to give up this tower. They're just backing off because they know that there's 4 people on the enemy team here, and they're just going to get dived if they stay there. So again, veteran play there, as you'd expect. People who really know their stuff are not going to just sit there and get dove. Anyway, so here we go. Mid, Sayax is very vulnerable right now. The ultimate is up. Look how fast Pharaoh runs in there. He forces the flash, gonna flash over the wall, interrupts the teleport out with his Impale, and that is one Twisted Fate who is not in particularly good shape right there. So Pharaoh, a very nice play right there. Again, running in with his W popped for all that extra movement speed. Runs in, interrupts the teleport out by Twisted Fate with his Impale, and then manages to get the kill. Down in bottom lane though, Alistar gank coming in is going to turn around this particular fight. But here comes Shen once again. Shen coming in to save the day. Is that going to be enough to turn around the fight? There is a nice pulverize by Alistar. Is that going to allow Chaox to get out? No, it isn't. And again, this is why you must ban Shen, because that was a clearly won fight for blue team, but then Shen came in and turned it around. I don't think that they can dive this. We'll see. I'm sure that red team would like to get that Oracle off of Alistar. He needs to get out of there right now before he gets dove underneath the tower. And he is indeed going to make it out. So a nice play by Red the Panda. That should have been an easy double kill in bottom lane, but again, bans were bad. And this is why you must ban Shen, because he just turns around all of those fights. Just too good in any kind of team fighting situation. Anyway, in the game overall, we can see, you guys can see the scoreboard down here. You can see how everybody's doing. One reason why I like spectator mode. Again, really strong champs right now. Ashe and Fiora are the ones carrying the blue team. They're the strongest ones on their team right now. On red team, it is Vayne. Even though Vayne was getting shut down in lane, Vayne just has to keep farming and she'll be effective later on. Does have her BF sword. Almost has that Bloodthirster. And Pharaoh's Skarner is really strong as well. Pharaoh should still have the most gold on the team. Yeah, 5,200. Again, Chaotic's Ashe is keeping up on the other team, but you can see where everybody stands here in terms of gold. And I can't get over how fast Skarner is. I mean, he just closed around the map so quickly when he has his W up. 21% increased movement speed. He's at 469. Let's see, when he pops his W, oh, his Impale is also off of cooldown already. Pretty fast cooldown when you have that blue buff. What is the cooldown? I'll try to highlight it here. 85-second cooldown with the blue buff. That's another reason why you emphasize items like Shurelya's. Alright, he goes up to 518 movement speed when he pops this. Yeah, you just run around the map so quickly. And of course you also get bonus, you also get that shield as well. Anyway, there is a big fight going on in bottom lane. Another kill picked off in bottom lane, but here comes the counter gank as well. Twisted Fate's down here. In comes Zyra, in comes Skarner, and who is he going to try to grab? It looks like he wants to grab Alistar. Alistar can break that, though, with his free cleanse on his ultimate. Twisted Fate is going to get picked up, flashes out of the Zyra ult. X Special is going to go down right here, and now Chaos is being slowed. He can't make it out of that. A very nice counter gank right there with Zyra picking up the double kill. So able to turn that into a 3-for-1 in that little exchange, but a 3-for-2 overall because Nunu was picked off earlier. But again, a little bit of a mistake. I don't think Pharaoh should have used his Impale on Alistar. I'm sure he wanted to get that Oracle, but the problem is Alistar's ult is a free cleanse, and it will break that Impale. Quicksilver Sash will also break that. So if there's an enemy Skarner who's really dominating, try to get that Quicksilver Sash, because then if he grabs you, you can immediately cleanse it and get out of his Impale. Right now, alright, so here's another one of the key items on Skarner. One of his key items is the Frozen Heart / Glacial Shroud. So it looks like Pharaoh went to pick up the Glacial Shroud. This is an item that works perfectly on him. It gives him extra mana. Again, remember, he is pretty blue buff dependent. He runs out of mana quickly. We do have a fight going on here in mid, but it looks like it's been broken off. Wow, Nintendo getting out on no health whatsoever. Now the fight is still continuing. Sayax's tower goes down, is in all kinds of trouble. Pharaoh's going to pick up that kill as well. And yeah, he's really out to an amazing start. 605 in this game. Has just been in the right spot over and over again. It looks like they're going to go and take Dragon right now. And blue team is not going to be able to contest this because they just lost their mid. Anyway, in bottom lane, Vayne got a little bit low, but it looks like she's going to be okay. And then here comes the counter gank in, but I think the Chaos Nick special are going to be fine. Yeah, they're going to slip out of there. Pharaoh walked right by that ward too, but didn't clear it. Anyway, as I was saying, perfect item for Skarner. This is another one of his key items. Extra mana, get the extra armor. Armor obviously useful, so you can stay alive longer in the team fights. And the passive that gives extra cooldown reduction. Glacial Shroud / Frozen Heart is just a really good item for Skarner. With Frozen Heart and Shurelya's Reverie, you'll max out his cooldown reduction, or come very, very close to it. Let's see, what is his current CDR? 29% without a blue. So yeah, with those items, you can basically max out your CDR. You can spam your Qs super duper fast. And it looks like we're going to have another fight right here. Alistar coming in, Twisted Fate coming in. This is a fight that red team needs to disengage from. Nunu is going to get blown up. So that was a nice play by the blue team right there. They actually have all 5 champs pushing this lane. But right now, Zyra is just free pushing mid. So red team can't really defend this tower. They're going to have to give this up. And they're just going to need to... they're going to need to send... Shen needs to come back to base. Yeah, see, Shen is already coming back. So this is a 5-man push. Red team can defend this if they have 4 here at the tower. But, I mean, they do have to be careful. This is, like I said, they have to react to this. Looks like Zyra's coming back as well. See, they realize they can't afford to give up an inhib. They're going to have to do something. Right now, Pharaoh, can he manage to get in there and grab somebody? He can flip the fight if he gets off a nice pull. Right now, he's popped the W for his movement speed, but he has lost his mobility boots because he took damage right there. So, it doesn't look like he's... Oh, but there is the flash in from Shen. A cleanse coming out from Ashe right there. And again, is he going to be able to grab someone? We still have not seen that Impale used just yet. Gold card stun from Twisted Fate. Another great taunt from Shen. Out comes the Zyra ult. It's a very good Zyra ult right there. Fiora now getting grabbed and pulled back into the rest of the team. And that is going to be 1 kill. Alistar now getting slowed. Double kill for Pharaoh right there. Now X Special is being chased. He probably can make it out of here just because he is Janna. And Janna has such great escapability. I don't know. They are coming over here. And again, Skarner is just so fast. Nope, not going to be able to make it out. Chaos turns back to try to get the kill on Clicky D. A great taunt from the Shen player right there. And that's going to be an ace. So that was a 5-for-1. And a great fight right there from the red team. Have to give major props to Cybolic, the Shen player. Some of those taunts were really good. He did a flash taunt to initiate the fight. And even though Chaos cleansed it, the blue team just got really messed up in that fight after that. And then once the chasing was on, there are a few people who are better at chasing than Skarner. So yeah, you can see the build here, max Q, max W, no points in E, just because W is perceived to be better. Again, extra attack speed, a bigger damage shield, extra movement speed, and just allows you to clear the jungle faster, allows you to move around the map faster. And Zyra needs to take this. There it goes. And makes you just a stronger jungler overall. So after that, in the wake of that fight, red team now has a pretty significant lead. They have about a 6,000 gold lead, and that's pretty substantial at this point in time in the game. Skarner 905 and has now finished the Frozen Heart as well, which is a really big deal, especially against this team because there are a couple auto attackers. Fiora and Ashe will both be hurt badly by the Frozen Heart, and it's actually not that bad against Twisted Fate as well because he does want to get his Lich Bane, so he can use his pick a card and make use of that Lich Bane. So the Frozen Heart actually does work pretty well against Twisted Fate as well. And right now we've got this red buff. I'm sure they want the red buff on Vayne, but Vayne's not here, so I guess it's just going to go over to Skarner again. Unless maybe they're just not going to do it. Anyway, an Ashe arrow goes through, does not hit. Right now, Zyra is going to get bursted down, but in comes Shen again for the save, and now this fight is being turned around and counter-ganked. That's 1 kill picked off. Now Fiora getting hit with that Nunu ultimate. Meanwhile, Skarner is going to get exhausted, flashes over the wall to safety, now needs to jump onto Fiora, get that perma-slow onto her, and they should be able to pick that down, parry or no. Able to get that for the legendary. Meanwhile, Vayne diving a little bit too deep. Claky D trying to get the kill onto Chaos. Is he going to be able to make it out? No, X Special is going to pick off that kill, but Shen is in the middle of the fight, just doing damage right now with his Sunfire Cape. And it looks like that's going to be the end of that fight, but still a pretty good fight for red team. Doesn't really change the game that much, relatively even, but they did continue to come out ahead. And now we see that Pharaoh has finished his Shurelya's Reverie as well, so just keep an eye on his movement speed. Try to keep an eye on this when he pops that Shurelya's Reverie. Anyway, Shen going a little bit too far. Is he going to be able to make it out of here? Yes, he is. And Ashe is still really low, but there are 4 members of blue team here. So we'll see. Going to pick up the red buff, it looks like, because Vayne is still nowhere in sight. Would be better to get this on Vayne, but it's not bad on Skarner either. Note that Pharaoh takes no damage at all while doing the camp, thanks to having his shield up. Just blocks all the damage. But it looks like he chose not to use it there because he didn't want to use the mana. Alright, anyway, so I'm going to continue to keep an eye on this. Again, we actually have a fight going on over here. Nintendo is going to pick off that kill on to Zyra. Zyra passive almost finishing him off, but not quite able to get it there. Anyway, as I said, we're just looking for action over at Baron. It is being pinged by blue team, so they could potentially look to go for this. Again, Vayne is in bottom lane. Wouldn't be the worst decision to go for that, but instead going to opt to push mid. They will get at least 1 tower for free. Maybe able to get a 2nd tower for free. We'll see. Looks like they are not going to push another wave, and it looks like they are going to back off and look to farm lanes and look to get ready for another battle yet to come. Alright, let's take a look then at who's doing really well. Again, Pharaoh's 1005 Skarner. Reason why I've been focusing on him, just having a great Skarner game. Again, just makes him so hard to kill when he pops that shield and moves around the map so quickly. Vayne now has her Bloodthirster and her Zeal. Zyra is still pretty underfarmed. She does have 2 items, but she's a long way away from a death cap right now. And Shen is pretty tanky as well. He's got the Sunfire and the Wit's End. Over on the other side, Ghostblade on Fiora. I mean, that does make sense. It's a little bit of an item you don't see that often, but it does make sense. Typical support stuff on Alistar. Twisted Fate, a little bit underfarmed as well. Ashe with the Infinity Edge and the Zeal. So Ashe is definitely stronger right now than Vayne is. But there is more passive gold on the side of the red team. Anyway, so Ashe was farming top lane, and it looks like the dragon is respawned, and red team is in a much better position to get this. We'll see if they actually do pick it up, but it looks like they are going to take this one. And after this dragon goes down, attention from both teams will shift over to Baron, and that will become the major focus for both sides going forward. So another dragon. Red team has gotten all the dragons thus far, and that makes a pretty big difference. Still, we've been sitting right around that 6,000 gold differential ever since the last big team fight. Hasn't really changed since then, and it's going to take another big play on one side or the other in order to shift this game further in one direction. So we will see where everybody tends to go now. Vayne and Zyra both went back to base. That means not going to be any action at Baron for the immediate point in time. Now, another item that has popped up on Skarner is the Sheen. The best, pretty much the best damage items to get on Skarner are some combination of Trinity Force and Wit's End. Wit's End, of course, allows you to attack faster, gives you the bonus attack speed, gives you the magic resistance. So Wit's End is very good on him. Trinity Force, also a great item on Skarner. Again, gives him more movement speed, which is a big deal. But the downside is it's a very, very expensive item. So only if you're really, getting fed in a game like this can you really afford to go for the Trinity. Anyway, call is here for Baron. Ashe down in bottom lane. Chaos a little bit out of position. So here comes the initiation. Twisted Fate has used his ult. This Baron is pretty low, but have to back off of doing Baron. Who is going to go ahead and claim this one? We have the Nunu ult. We have the Zyra ult going out here. Alistar is going to get bursted down. And it looks like red team was able to take the Baron in all that fighting. Twisted Fate will fall to Vayne. Now Vayne is still chasing. X Special going to flash out over here. The chase is on after Chaos. He is going to cleanse the Nunu Snowball. But again, this is where the speed of Skarner matters. We did see the Shurelya's popped earlier. Just still chasing. There is the W for that movement speed boost. Still chasing. Still chasing. Is he going to get this kill? Nunu and Skarner want this kill. And yes, they are going to be able to chase that one down. So that was a long chase, but they were able to get that, even though the mobility boots do not work once the damage goes on. Still able to chase that down regardless. So again, on Skarner, if you're going to run jungle Skarner, make sure that you have attack speed red runes to allow you to get your clear through the jungle faster, and you also really want movement speed Quints. Probably should have said that earlier instead of throwing it out at this sort of random time, but yeah, sort of runes need attack speed, need some attack speed, and you need movement speed Quints are really good because, again, allows you to run around the map super fast. So again, you pop that W and you go to 500 movement speed, and that allows you to chase down almost everyone. Just take a random other champion with without movement speed, like take Twisted Fate. His movement speed's 386. He is easily going to be chased down by a Skarner with 515 movement speed or whatever it is with the mobility boost. So again, I've said this over and over again, but just emphasizing speed is a huge deal on Skarner, much like it is on Udyr. Like you just need to be able to get that speed to move around the map. Anyway, Pharaoh's gone back again. Let's see what he's going to pick up. He's got the Phage now. Again, another item that builds into Trinity Force, gives you the chance to slow. So also gives you health and gives you the chance to slow. So another item that works really well. And again, there we go, 523 movement speed with the W pop. That is a fast little Scorpion scurrying his way across the map. Alright, now if you remember, Vayne was getting really shut down in lane before, but at this point in time, Vayne now has gotten enough global gold to be really strong. Zyra is in bad shape right here, going to get the knock-up onto Fiora, but in comes Twisted Fate. And in comes Shen as well, the double globals coming out. You'd think as soon as Twisted Fate comes out that for sure blue team's going to win the fight, but nope, Shen ult is up, Shen is in there. And this Shen is pretty unkillable at this point in time. He's got 3,300 health, 200 armor, 125 magic resist. So very strong. Over here, the pull comes on to Radish, gets the Impale. X Special, not sure he's going to be able to make it out of this. His flash is not up from the last team fight. Shen going to jump in there and get the kill steal at the end. But again, using that Impale, and now with three members of blue team dead, this should be a pretty easy inhibitor kill for the red team to pick off right there. And they've now, with the Baron and with all of these recent kills, they've snowballed their edge up to 10,000 gold lead and are looking to be in a very dominant position right now. Alright, so where to go next? Well, they've got the inhib. The focus now shifts to the side lanes. This tower is looking pretty exposed because Vayne is pushing it. Looked like Skarner was going to go back for a second there, but better to continue this push. They don't have Zyra, so they have to be a little bit careful, but it looks like this is just a 4-on-4, and they do have Vayne to poke away at this tower, so going to be able to get a pretty good result here. Here comes Zyra in. As soon as Zyra gets here, they can look to be more aggressive in pushing this. Their Baron is, let's see, their Baron is only going to last for 20 more seconds, so now is a good time to try to force a fight while that Baron is still up. Look to be aggressive in trying to grab this tower. And let's see if they're going to be able to get this. Zyra is sitting there waiting to ult over the wall. There is the binding that comes out. Not going to be able to hit on her binding, but she does get her extra damage on her Q. What is her Q called? Deadly Bloom. Anyway, that is the arrow initiation coming out from Kaox, but it's instantly cleansed by the Zyra player. So again, unfortunate thing when you're up against Ashe, more people do take cleanse for sure. And that was an example that it worked right there. So a nice cleanse in response from Zyra. Anyway, the tower is going to go down. That goes down very quickly. Here comes Skarner. Is he going to be able to grab somebody right here? He can, again, just the grab can completely flip fights. He wants to try to grab, let's see, on this team. Doesn't really want to grab Ashe because Ashe can cleanse it. Doesn't want to grab Alistar. So Fiora and Twisted Fate are the best targets for Skarner to go after on this particular team. If he manages to get one of them, then they can probably win a fight immediately afterwards if you can manage to get that. But it looks like everybody's going to go back to base here. Use that gold that everybody's sitting on. Most everybody's got a fair amount of gold. Use that. Anyway, there is the Trinity Force. There is more movement speed, 12% extra movement speed, along with all of the other goodies that come out from Trinity Force. So look at the speed now, 550, and that's without using Shurelya's. When he pops Shurelya's, his base movement speed is 498 right now, and again, it goes to 550. I mean, I just can't get over just how fast he gets around the map right now. And when somebody like that is running at you, it's pretty terrifying. Again, also does have 3,100 health, 200 armor, and 90 MR. Not itemizing the MR, but again, that's because the enemy team is mostly physical damage. Twisted Fate, the only one really doing magic damage on that blue team. So anyway, Dragon going to go down very quickly. Baron will be up in about 2 minutes from this point in time. So right now, red team can either look to keep pushing lanes, or they can opt to try and just stall and wait for the next Baron and force a fight at that Baron. It's really up to them, whatever they choose to do, and they can do it either way. They can sort of slow play this by waiting for Baron, or they can be more aggressive in pushing lanes. They do have the one inhibitor down, and that one, but it will be respawning relatively soon. Pharaoh's also kept the Oracle the entire game, so I mean, he's cleared just so many wards with that Oracle. The jungler really is the best person on your team to get the Oracle on, just because they move around the map more so than anyone else. You won't always be able to do that, but if you as a jungler can get an Oracle early on and not die with it, then it means that your team is in a really, really good place most of the time, because you're taking out their vision, and there's not a whole lot they can do about it. Anyway, Shen off the top lane, Shen off split pushing, as Shen always tends to do. Blue buff has respawned over here, so looks like they're going to make a play for it. Ashe is down here in bottom lane, has to deal with this push. Khaox has quite a good build here. He's really quite strong, but the question is, will they be able to protect him in these team fights? That has been the issue thus far. Shen and Skarner have been able to dive past the front line of the enemy team. Anyway, Claykyd getting caught a little bit here, but there is the Shurelya's 585 movement speed. We've got a fight going in. The Impale onto Syx, and this is just not the fight that blue team wants right now. They've already lost Twisted Fate before the fight even starts. Fiora jumping into the middle of the team, but she's going to get bursted down. Alistar doing what he's supposed to do, go in there and initiate, but he will also get bursted down very quickly. The Shen ult came out on someone who was low. Didn't quite see who it was. And now Khaox is trapped away from the base. Nunu with red buff and snowball. Not much he can do. Flash over the wall, but Skarner goes right over the wall too. And this should not be a very difficult kill to pick off. So Pharaoh is going to grab that one as well. Again, Twisted Fate going in, trying to make a play, but a little bit over-aggressive right there. Gets bursted down, and then with that many people down, that's the end of the game right here. So this one's going to be it for this one. And this one is going to be finished off by the red team as soon as they stop trolling and actually manage to take the Nexus. Well, as soon as they stop trolling, like I said, they will manage to finish this one off. There it goes. Alrighty, so again, a good Skarner game. Skarner game at high elo here. So again, all the key items on Skarner, the double gold pretends into the mobility boots, Shurelya's Reverie again for the great initiations and the cooldown reduction, Frozen Heart, Glacial Shroud into Frozen Heart for again the armor, the mana, and again more cooldown reduction. That unique aura is really good too. And then the Trinity Force is like, oh, well, you know, if you have all that extra gold at the end, you can pick it up. But again, really, really fast, get around the map quickly, be able to flash and impale people on the other team, and get an Oracle if you have enough gold, as Pharaoh did in this game. But 13-0-10, I mean, just a great demonstration of how to play Skarner. Most gold on the team and most gold in the game. So anyway, that's what I wanted to show. Again, if you want to check out the Spectate Anyone client, I'll put a link in the description. It is pretty useful. It's a nice little third-party program. It would be nice if Riot made that official and let everyone use the Spectate mode for anyone they wanted, but so far it's not in the game, so you do have to use a third-party program. Anyway, once again, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this. I'll see you again soon. Take care.